going on, Nerd Army, and all you movie buffs out there, guys? Today we are doing a movie review for Nerdy Movie Night. So, guys, tonight we will be focusing on X-Men. Now, yes, this is the 2000s X-Men. This is the original X-Men movie that started one of the biggest superhero franchises to ever hit theaters. I'm really excited about this because we also got a character that we just lost with the new release of Logan and his final appearance as Wolverine. Hugh Jackman, in his debut as Wolverine, was in this film. Now, when this started, there wasn't any superhero movies out there that were any good. This really was the stepping off point for superhero movies. Now we get so many that we're spoiled. We get 7 or 8 a year of just big budget Hollywood movies, not to mention the countless superhero TV shows we have. And I'm ecstatic. Today and this time in this world is a good time to be a nerd, guys. It is where it's at. But we are going to focus on X-Men. Now, X-Men started it all off, like I said. And this was one of the great things about Bryan Singer. He knew the X-Men like the back of his hand. He knew these characters front to back, side to side. He knew everything about them. And so when you get someone that's very passionate about the source material that they're working with and give them the reins to an amazing multi-million-dollar movie and say have a good time with it and make this an entertaining film for Fox, boom, Bryan Singer did not disappoint. He made one of the coolest introduction movies we've ever gotten for a superhero franchise. We got to meet Wolverine for the first time, Storm for the first time, Jean Grey, Cyclops. These characters would go on for many, many movies, even some shitty ones, but still went on for many movies. Now, one thing that I really love that they brought from the comics that a lot of people didn't think they were going to full on bring from the comics is the prejudice that mutants get. If you guys have ever picked up a comic about the X-Men or any of their different stories, you know that prejudice and bigotry is a huge issue in the mutant world. This is something that we can all relate to. We've all seen it. We've experienced it. Some of us more than others. Some of us have seen it all over the place. Prejudice is something that has affected everyone and every type of life out there. So mutants were no exception. They were just a totally different run of people, a totally different class of humans. They were a little bit more evolved. They had the mutant X gene. There's so much prejudice and hate towards mutants in these films, and that's what makes it feel real, because that's exactly how the comics were. Now, I've already mentioned some of these characters, but the casting in this film was amazing. Let's start off with Wolverine. Okay, so Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Now, I know, guys, for all you guys out there that are real big Wolverine fans, you know that Wolverine's a tiny little like 5'3" dude, and Hugh Jackman's like 6'2". So that was the only real complaint. Other than that, everyone just forgot about that, because this movie started off and introduced us to one of the best casted superhero characters of all time, and that is Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. You go out to the streets nowadays, ask, hey, who's Wolverine? They're, oh, that guy, the Hugh Jackman guy. They're all going to know Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. That is our generation. That is the last 20 years. That is their generation's Wolverine. They're all going to know him as Wolverine. Now, the next generation may have Tom Hardy, may have somebody else. We don't know. But we can all hope. Then you got Ian McKellen as Magneto. This is one of my favorite casted superheroes ever. Now, Magneto is an amazing villain and a badass villain. Now, the thing is, in the comics, he's a ripped old dude, okay? He's like yoked out, still got the white hair, yoked out, not super old, not like they have Ian McKellen. He's an older version of him. But he is a badass. He just commands such a presence when he is on camera. That is all you know. Magneto is here, and we are watching him. Now, his portrayal of Magneto is just so good. So smug, so overreaching, such a douchebag at times, but it really does just ring true to the character himself. Now, Patrick Stewart going as Professor X, now that's one of the best casted characters ever. And I could not agree more. He did such an amazing job just introducing us these characters, but subtly bringing them in, and him working with Wolverine to kind of discover where he's been, where he's gone from. And the whole scheme that they think everything's about him, and it turns out Rogue is the real target for all this, so that he can use Rogue to put her in the machine to make everyone turn into mutants. Kind of a dick move, because the machine kills you. Anna Paquin as Rogue in this film was a little disappointing. I saw this movie in theaters when it first came out. I have been an X-Men fan since I was a little kid, so when this movie was announced, I was done. That's where I was going. So the fact that we got a unpowered Rogue, basically, we just got the kid that absorbs people. And because of licensing issues, a lot of people don't understand this. Why isn't Rogue like she is in the 90s TV show, the animated series? Well, that's the fact that in the animated series and the comics, Rogue got her powers by sapping the powers of Miss Marvel. Now, Miss Marvel is owned by Marvel Studios and Disney, okay? And X-Men is over here owned by Fox. Now, that's why we couldn't get a full Rogue, I think, because they didn't have the rights to do that and bring that character in because they were owned by Marvel still. Marvel wasn't owned by Disney at the time, but that's okay. They were owned by Marvel, and Marvel owned the rights to that character and wasn't going to release them. Now, giving her a Miss Marvel to zap and take her powers would explain how she could fly, durability, super strength, but that never happened. We got stuck with a second-rate child Rogue that we never really got a true fruition Rogue. We just got a basic little character that suck people dry a little bit, but that was it. I mean, other than that, it was kind of a letdown. That was really, for me, the only character that was a letdown. Now, in this movie, there technically was like a little flash of Jubilee, and then a Pyro that they would eventually recast for the second movie. But, I mean, all in all, the cast itself was so well done. Halle Berry as Storm was great, and she was one of the characters that would continue on through all the movies, and that was really awesome to me. So, Days of Future Past, we get to say bye-bye to Halle Berry, but that's okay. Guys, so let me know. I can't be the only one. I love this film. This film is so amazing. This film has just changed everything. And a lot of people go back and they look at the Avengers and they look at Justice League, which is coming up, and they're like, okay, look at this is going to be how a team movie is really made. When they did the first Avengers, Joss Whedon blew it out the park, and it became the new basis on how a team movie is made. You guys don't understand that before that movie came out in the 2000s, they made X-Men 1 and X-Men 2, which balanced a team of superheroes with all different types of powers very well. Now, everyone thinks the Avengers really set it off and started everything. No, guys, look back further. The X-Men started it off, and this was the movie that inspired those movies to be made. Now, guys, I'm a huge fan of the X-Men, and I love this movie so much. There's very few things I can complain about in this film, so I'm going to go ahead and give this one a solid A. Now, guys, that's just my opinion. This is my opinion and my grading on if you guys think it deserves higher or lower. Let me know in the comments down below. And which one of the X-Men movies is your favorite? Put it down in the comments down below, guys. And while you're here, make sure you guys hit that like, thumbs up button, and subscribe to the channel to keep up with me and all the other videos I do every week. And, guys, I will be continuing the X-Men movie reviews all the way through to Apocalypse. Like I said, I did do Apocalypse, but I'll probably rewatch it and do another review for it just to get you guys my opinions now after I've seen it multiple times.